I want to thank my friends who supported me again. I want to thank DmKrispin, who did the research, who handed me a zip file I was able to open. It was so organized. It was such a gift. She did this for me, and she did it for Rise. But she did it at my request. Thank you, Anne. I hope you have a really good time and take some time off from this now. I know this has been quite the emotional roller coaster for all of us. And this screenshot right here, truer words have not been spoken. Della Winters is dead. There was a moment when I let Ash know privately yeah, and I'm not the only person that knows about this. I'm not the only person who's suspected, but I am the first person who is willing to take the shot in the head from him with the gun that he had constantly pointed at our heads of Della's impending death, Della's, next stroke, that sort of thing. It's amazing to me that one person was able to wreak so much havoc and cause so much discomfort, and to actually get into the lives of real people and ruin shit and mess things up. Now I have a list of people here that Ash the Raven has harmed. Besides Jack Luck and McCon, he's messed with Caspa, who was trying to help him. He's messed with Eli, Tamon's girl, if you remember her. She's my friend. I spoke to her about this, and she told me some things. Both of these women, Eli and Caspa, who were not the closest of friends, were trying to help Ash while he was in desperate need of money and a place to live. Eli did it behind the scenes. She reached out to friends. She found him a really excellent scene where he could live for free, where his daughter could go to school in a good school system in Philadelphia, where he could, even though he didn't drive, he could live there, and he would be able to establish himself and make a life. And the people included legal counsel for his issues. Eli set this up and gave Ash the information on how to go ahead and obtain this. Eli vouched for him. And a week later, Ash the Raven literally pissed in a cup on her when she was not long after she had been assaulted and was in a very real crisis. He pissed in a cup on camera. Later on, when Seb Beach brought this up, Della and the account Della and Ash both lied and said that they were close friends with Eli. That is not true. The Della Winter account was always spreading rumors like about Caspa and causing trouble. I didn't know any of this stuff until after I posted my video. He's affected with this account, Agent of Doubt's life. Anybody who has ever been made to feel bad or apologize or close their account or feel bad about quote-unquote harassing Della Winters is included in some of the little map that I'm drawing out here of people who have been affected, the people who have written to me privately, the people who have written to DmKrispin privately, people who have written to a lowly apprentice privately about their stories of dealing with him. But one of the bigger, besides Ruby, okay, which what happened to her is unconscionable. There is no excuse for it. There's no excuse also for using the ultrasound of another woman with a high-risk pregnancy and using it as your own. Everybody knows that. But what some of you may not be aware of is that there are people, and I was in this room, I was invited in this room as a PR stunt to try to make all the problems that he'd created with me go away. And as a result, I got to interact with Fen developers, and specifically Brian J., Death of Speech, and Mara, or HPS Magenta, who is brilliant. These people, I felt so helpless to warn them. I felt so helpless I wanted to scream and tell them, stop, just stop. What are you doing? They were like communicating things, and I hope it's okay, guys, if I communicate this, okay? So this is what I witnessed. I witnessed people like Brian and Death of Speech. They're like, oh, by the way, I am like really sick. Or, like how you tell your friends you're sick, you're having a bad day, you're in pain. Where everybody's suffering from something, right? Some illness or another. But these were fairly significant life challenges people had. And they're working on Ash's the Raven's project, while Ash is out there causing them nothing but grief. And I don't know why they've continued. The only thing I could think is that they continue out of love of the project. A lowly apprentice shared something with me of Della Winters manipulating Pastor George C. And Pastor George C. is expressing in this communique with Della. These are chat logs of Skype chat logs. Is expressing the most human response, and Della Winters is just sitting there letting it happen. People are going out of their way to help Ash, to send him money, to send him things that he needs, microphones, little pieces of equipment, their wishes, their best wishes for him. And he's deceiving them. This is someone who's managed to snake his way in through the social networks to disrupt the lives of so many people. And yet, everybody's pretty baffled about how this happened. Ashes the Raven is not stupid. He's self-defeating, yes. He defeats his own efforts. But his intelligence, where his intelligence lies, and where he uses his intelligence, the energy that he spends could be better spent elsewhere. But he spends it all on this specific area of human interaction. And he's not stupid. To those of you who feel stupid or dumb or ashamed for having let him fool you, don't be. Don't be ashamed of that. I've had this happen to me. I went and checked. This was years and years ago. But I was conned into a very similar, elaborate fantasy life to believe everything this person was telling me and to do things based on his fantasy, even though I knew it was bullshit. It's almost like the sheer force of energy that a person puts into these fantasy type things prevents us from wanting to just confront them, because we feel as if when we do, we will completely destroy that person because we will have shattered their illusions. But I decided to go ahead and do that anyway, in a fairly big way. I do it as a gift to people who are good people. I didn't mean to hurt you or shock you. I know the Fen developers are likely still reeling from this, and I hope they recover, and I hope they pull the project off. But I will not support or ever go anywhere near anything associated with Fatal Error Network, the name, with Josh Clark, the person. In fact, I will do quite the opposite. I will campaign against it. So to the Fen developers, I hope you move on. I would like to introduce you to Conference Report or Piro, and maybe or Mentem, And maybe you guys can all get together and start a new project from the ground up or something. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know. I feel terrible. And I feel really terrible about what happened to Ruby. And I feel really terrible about what happened to me. Because when I am unable to speak with my own friends, people I'm close with, I want it to be for the reasons like they are now. Like, I can't speak with Div because she's out in the real world having fun. It's summer, and she's out in her real world, and she's doing real things and having a great time. And if it's that I can't speak with Feminist Whore, I want it to be because Feminist Whore is having to rebuild a computer, or just, or because my friends are so awesome, and busy, like, changing the world, their worlds. Like with my one friend, she's busy, impacting and making history, impacting legislation in her country that is going to help marginalized people and change things for sex workers. I want those to be the reasons. I don't want the reason that I can't speak to my friend to be that she is emotionally paralyzed, that she is whatever, that she is destroyed, temporarily destroyed, that she's freaking out, that she's desperate, that she's suicidal, and she can't talk. Even though I've said, you can talk to me. When you're ready, you can talk to me. And Ash caused this to happen. And for that, I will never... This has been personal. I like to say that it was impersonal. I tried to get as impersonal about it as I could. But it has been very personal. And it will remain personal for me. Which is why I need to take a break after this. So, don't feel stupid, people. You all had human responses, real, multidimensional people who, even though I can't see their faces sometimes, I can tell they're real. You're brilliant, you're passionate, you're funny, you're wise beyond your years. It's okay. It's okay. What happened to me was okay. You'll get through this. Feel sorry for him. When you're ready, feel sorry for him. Let him go. Della is dead. Josh is gone. He's not coming back. So, I'm going to take some time off too. I'll be in Skype here and there, but, I'm exhausted by this, and I'm ready for another topic. I'm going to be writing a blog post on some of the things that came up in Badger's blog TV the other day, trying to distract myself from all this nonsense. I know good people on this website. I know good people in this social network here on YouTube, and I really appreciate you all. Thank you for your support, and just let Josh go. Just let him go. I'm going to, so, don't let him get away with this again. Please.